To me, you've been on a lot of bus rides over the
Yeah.
year. Is there a funny story or one that kind of sticks out to you? You probably have been on a thousand bus rides
Yeah.
or more.
Well, I think I remember the one trip we had about 5, 6 years ago. It was snowing like crazy all the way up I-5. It took us about 15 hours to get from Klamath Falls to Kirkland, or no, excuse me, to Olympia. And when we got there, we were ready to play the game, but they couldn't even get to their gym, they said. And so we asked Evergreen if we could pick their players up in our bus so we could play the game. And they said, the school was closed, they couldn't play. We made that long trip. And so it turned out that they canceled the game that night. We had to play Sunday afternoon after they got to sit and wait for us. And it was kind of disappointing because they beat us at, we were already prepared to play them. And we had already even picked up their players and stuff, but they didn't want to do it. So that was kind of interesting. And I think that same trip we were going home and our bus got caught up in the mountains and we had to cut down a bunch of branches to get through.
Yeah.
One other time, going over to Southern Oregon, I had the starters in my van, and the second group went over to Southern's full house over there. And we got caught up in the mountains for 3.5 hours in a snowbank, and no cell phones and stuff, and couldn't make it, so we had to change that over. But some of those things happen.
What's the longest bus ride you've been on?
Oh boy. It is probably 16, 17 hours because of the weather. One of those trips to La Grande and back in fact, even we were in the Evergreen Conference with Eastern Washington, those, Central Washington and all those, and Western Washington. I actually had a guy one time when I was 24 years old. I was coaching baseball. I had him sit next to me. I paid him work study to keep hitting me in the shoulder to keep me awake all the way home. And those are typical some stories from us. I had to coach back
And
then.
What is some advice you'd give a young coach?
Well, one thing I'd tell a young coach is, it's a nice thing now. They say you can never watch enough video, and I'd say if you want to have a family, you can definitely. There's enough video you can watch. I mean, you don't spend 5-6 hours a night. In fact, in the last 28 years, I've never taken a video home. I just got so. Your family, your faith, family, friends is something that you should really work on, and a lot of times in coaching we get that mixed up.